The story goes as such. September 29, 2017. I like watching Super Mario Logan a lot. My favorite character was Bowser Jr. I was going through YouTube one day when I saw a new SML video called SML Movie I'm Sorry Chef Pee-Pee. But when I saw the notification, my mind was racing with thoughts such as, is this a joke? Is this a Halloween video but posted early? I ignored it and started watching. Junior was having a good day, spending it with his friends, making jokes about Cody's mom, the usual things that Junior likes. One day, he made a mistake that changed his life forever. It goes a little like this. Junior was playing football in the house with Jeffy when on accident, Jeffy punched the ball high enough to break the ceiling. And right when that happened, the ceiling fan fell on Chef Pee-Pee and knocked him unconscious, with his face splattered across the kitchen counter and floor. Junior was scared, but luckily he knew the trick. Junior tried to make Chef Pee-Pee a new face by getting Play-Doh and using glue and tape to hopefully get the face to look as good as new. But right when Junior was done making the last piece of Play-Doh, Chef Pee-Pee awoke, and boy was he angry. Chef Pee-Pee actually grew a new face underneath his old one, and it looked terrifying as heck. Junior fell to his knees at what he saw, the lifeless, messed up Chef Pee-Pee standing right above him. Trying to keep it calm, Junior cracked a joke. But when Chef Pee-Pee heard it, he slashed at Junior, making Junior cry so hard that he had waterfalls of tears and blood coming out of his nose, eyes, and mouth. Chef Pee-Pee started choking Junior, and Junior kept repeating while crying, "I'm sorry, Chef Pee-Pee, I'm sorry." And as Junior said that, Chef Pee-Pee plunged his hands deep into Junior's body, so much so that Junior's heart was destroyed. The episode was deleted by YouTube because it violated community guidelines, but I remember this episode. It scared the living daylights out of me. I'll never see Chef Pee-Pee the same way again. I think me and my friends were the only ones who noticed this mysterious video, because after that, nobody had ever talked about it. If anyone else has seen the video, please let me know. I'm sure me and my friends were the only ones to notice this, considering nobody else had talked about it. Update. Someone messaged me the other day saying that they managed to snap a screenshot from one of the Chili's vlogs. Here is the picture. Chef Pee-Pee can be seen in the kitchen table with dust surrounding him. Junior doesn't seem to be in the shot, however. I sincerely hope this can lead to more discoveries about the mysterious video. And that, my little shadows, was I'm Sorry Chef Pee-Pee, a SML movie lost episode creepypasta. My final thoughts on the story? Well, it's honestly about time that I actually get to the story again, as it was one of my more popular ones, shockingly enough. In fact, I think it has like 70,000 views or something like that. Man, I really gotta start rebooting some of these stories. But with all due sincerity though, I'm Sorry Chef Pee-Pee really wasn't good. Like, at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, the thumbnail's pretty alright, but other than that, there's not really much going for this story. I mean, for one, let's start off with the comment section. One says, "The photo looks fake. The gray smudge overlaps Chef Pee-Pee. Look closely and you'll see it look more like a smear of gray paint. I saw this thumbnail someone on YouTube before. I tried looking for the Wayback Machine, but there was nothing. I'm thinking about confronting them about it one day. This is flipping dumb." That's a lot of SML creepypastas. Another one says, "Not bad." Another one says, "Is this real?" One says, "Yes." Why? Another one says, "Ah." And another one says, "Oh god, no. No." Okay, well, with that all said, this story, to be 100% honest with all of you, was not very good. I mean, the startup of this creepypasta itself starts off with a date. I don't even exactly see why exactly anybody would ever include a date unless it's like in a diary format, but it's not. I mean, another issue I can say is that the grammar in this story is not good at all. Like, for one, there's so many lowercase words that shouldn't be lowercase. Like, for example, just from the very start, it said, my apologies for that. It said, "I was watching Super Mario Logan a lot. My favorite character was Bowser Jr. I was going through YouTube one day when..." You see the problem with that? The entire thing is literally just one run-on sentence, and it keeps on going. I mean, and another thing too, it's like, Super Mario Logan needs to be capitalized. That's a full-on fact. Bowser Jr. needs to be capitalized. The I needs to be capitalized. I'm not gonna rant. You all should know. I know. Again, the I's in the story do not work out well with this at all. I mean, at least the very beginning of it. Thankfully, though, it does improve a lot more as the story continues on going. So, the whole thing about, and then it just kind of goes on with a typical SML Creepypasta episode. Nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary. And then, it goes into the main episode with Chef Pee getting knocked out and then getting a new face in Play-Doh and then ultimately sitting there and going crazy and finally getting rid of Junior. Which in retrospect, I actually have to say is a little bit cathartic because, I mean, even though I personally like Junior and SML, I do understand that Chef Pee does get tormented a lot by Junior and the others, which is very unfortunate. I mean, especially in the earlier SML episodes, to be honest, involving Junior. I mean, the idea of Chef Pee finally getting sick and tired of having to deal with Junior's insanity or whatever is something I can say was kind of expected. Now, do I condone what he did? Obviously not. I mean, granted, it's a terrible creepypasta, but still. And another thing genuinely I can say I really didn't care too much for this episode part is that there's a bunch of swear words incorporated in the story just for the sake of just including them there. Look, people, I have no problem with swear words in question. I mean, I don't personally use them anymore on my channel for obvious reasons, but I don't have a problem with swearing words and things like swearing being used in a creepypasta as long as it's being used in a way that actually kind of helps it. I mean, whether it be like through a reaction or something like that. I mean, like a crazy reaction or something, that would be a little bit more believable, to be honest. I mean, something I can genuinely say. And it just kind of more or less coming on just makes it a little bit more laughable than anything. I mean, for me personally, my thoughts on it is if you're going to swear in a video, or if you're going to swear in a creepypasta, have it actually mean something, or, keep it minimized, I guess. I mean, you don't want it to just be there just for the sake of being there, to be honest. But enough with that. Let's actually get back to the creepypasta. And of course, the whole thing winds up ending and yada 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 yada. I will say though that later on though, this creepypasta story actually manages to improve a lot more in the grammar and the sentence structuring, which is a very big positive in my eyes because it definitely works out a lot better. And I think that the author, or maybe somebody who probably wound up seeing it, tried to improve it as best as they could at the very end of it, which I will say is very good, and actually is a bit of a positive though. However, the startup a bit, like the entire thing, if you're going to try and work on a creepypasta and improve on every ounce of it. Like the first startup of this story could have really used a good polishing with its grammar and everything. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but still really could use a little bit more help with that. And another thing as well, I kind of do wish that the storyline itself had a little bit more of an expansion, perhaps. Maybe like an actual detailed storyline to it, like, for example, saying our goodbyes to Jeffy, as an example, would be a good way to kind of take a little bit of inspiration or something and actually come up with a good episode with it. I mean, granted, it's a summary, but still, I kind of wish that there was a lot more included into this creepypasta to really provide much more detailed reasoning for why Chef Pee did the things that he did. I mean, again, I understand why he did it, I can't condone it, but, still. No, the whole thing of it violating community guidelines, okay. When it comes to SML, I have to be 100% honest here, a lot of his content, is very, very, very messed up and definitely not for kids, I can say that right now. But I mean, the idea of it being removed or something for that is a little bit confusing because there's really nothing in that episode itself that really would violate that. I mean, granted, then again, a lot of things get taken down, but that's neither here or there. But still, I mean, the ending is definitely a lot better in retrospect compared to everything else, and I did like the little screenshot at the end. It kind of added a little bit more to the story itself, in regards to somewhat believability, I guess you could say. But of course, it's still not great, but it definitely showed a lot more signs of improvement, which I will give the story a lot of credit for. But of course, like I always say with these creepypastas, and like what I always will continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story would have to be a 3 out of 10. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 because of the fact that while the grammar at the very beginning was absolutely abhorrent, there was a great amount of improvement. However, the entire episode itself just doesn't exactly seem to really fit too well. I mean, granted, maybe that's my own thoughts, my own personal bias perhaps, but still. And I do think that it could have been polished up a lot more and expanded on a little bit more, then the story would get a higher rating. But even then, though, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Oh wait, my final rating of the story, I think... Oh yeah, I already gave my final rating. Scratch that. Sorry, my brain's not working today, people. But what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not? Also, what would you have personally done to help make the story a lot better? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'm the Shadow Reader. Thanks again for watching today's episode, and if you're brand new here to this channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. And of course, like always, roll the outro because I'm out. Your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave. Glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day.